Good morning, messengers. Good to see you. We know this is a busy day. You had a full day yesterday, and we're grateful that we have a few minutes to present our Guidestone report. In 1917, the Southern Baptist Convention met in New Orleans, and President J.B. Gambrill appointed a commission to study the formation of a board that would help pastors with relief and retirement support. The next year, the Southern Baptist Convention formed the Relief and Annuity Board of the Southern Baptist Convention, and William Lunsford was the first president. We're still driven by our founders' burden for pastors and missionaries and others who are serving Christ. A few years after that board was founded, William Lunsford said, "We engage in big business." He had no idea how big the business was going to get. He said, "We engage in big business, but back of all our talk of dollar and cents is the recognition on the part of our churches of their responsibility to the ministers of the gospel." Guidestone exists today because our Southern Baptist Convention churches over 100 years ago recognized their responsibility to honor and provide for those who pour out their lives in a ministry of the gospel. And I'm grateful to God for their foresight. 2023 has been a year marked by important milestones for Guidestone. John Jones passed the baton to Chu So, our new Chief Operating Officer. John Jones served with 4 of the 8 presidents in the history of Guidestone during his 35-year career. For 25 years, John has served as a Chief Operating Officer of Guidestone. This man set a high standard as a faithful steward for Southern Baptist. I thank God for the honor of learning from him and the privilege of calling him a friend. And I want you to know, Southern Baptist, that we owe John Jones our heartfelt appreciation for his good and faithful service. We're already seeing Chu So prove to be an able successor as Chief Operating Officer. God has uniquely prepared Chu for this important kingdom assignment. He's an Air Force Academy graduate, retired officer with stellar operational skills. Our Guidestone team and our trustees love and trust Chu So, and I'm honored to serve with him. He's passionate about our mission and expanding our kingdom reach. At Guidestone, we want to see every servant of Christ finish well. We're working to enhance financial security and resilience for those who serve the Lord. Financial security is what we do. We provide insurance and retirement investment solutions. We advocate for you. We help you to advocate for yourself. We're a guide for our members toward financial security. Resilience is our kingdom why. Resilience is that margin that allows a minister and his family to bounce back from unexpected loss and to persevere under trial. Remember that the Apostle Paul says to Timothy, "Pay careful attention to yourself and to the doctrine. Persevere in these things." Guidestone exists to help you pay attention to the financial health of your household so that you can persevere in your calling and finish well. Let me give you an idea of what I mean by finish well. It was my honor a few years ago to be the pastor of a minister of the gospel who finished well. His name was James Crawford. James Crawford spent his life as an IMB missionary in Venezuela. And then he retired and moved to Oklahoma City, where I was a pastor, and I was his pastor for most of the last of his life. In his retirement years, he lived with a passion to serve Jesus. And because of the faithful provision of the International Mission Board, through Guidestone, he had the financial freedom to serve Jesus as the Lord led him. And so he challenged me as pastor. He challenged our church to start Spanish language work. He personally found the new pastor and planter, Felix Cabrera, who today is the vice president for Hispanic church planning for North American Mission Board. James Crawford mentored him. He pushed him in this new work. He pushed us to support him. And before James Crawford went to heaven, the church that he led in planning became the mother church of over 30 other Hispanic congregations. And they're still planting churches today. His retirement, you can clap to that. So his retirement years had as much kingdom impact as all of his years on the field with IMB. And one small part of his resilience in ministry was the fact that he could serve with financial security in those latter years. We want to see every servant of Christ finish well. I'm grateful for the talented, best-in-class leaders who are deeply committed to serving Guidestone. Here on the platform with me today are David Spica, our Chief Investment Officer, and Christy Teeter, our Chief Retirement Officer, and Adina Kiersey, our Chief Insurance Officer. Each one of them has a wonderful testimony how God has equipped them professionally and led them to come and serve in Guidestone. Each of these leaders and their teams are working to help you optimize your income and plan for the future so that you can finish well. They have strong faith alignment with you. They love Jesus the way you love Jesus. They honor his inspired word the way you honor his word. They value your cultures. They won't just tolerate them. They respect and share your deep cultural commitments. And they have expertise that will help you to start well and stay well and finish well. Our team could work any place they choose, but they're called to serve you at Guidestone because we believe that enhancing financial security and resilience of the messenger of the gospel is our part in helping to advance the message of the gospel. And we're grateful for the opportunity to serve Southern Baptist. Our booth closes at 3 p.m. today, so we encourage you to come by if you have insurance, investments, or retirement planning questions. Of course, very quickly, Mission Dignity remains the heartbeat of what we do at Guidestone. Mission Dignity Sunday is June 25th. We have had historic years in Mission Dignity, serving more people than ever before. Last year, we served over 2,800 people through Mission Dignity. Pastors, pastors' wives, mostly pastors' widows. When those faithful servants receive that monthly deposit in their account, they're not receiving charity, they're receiving an honorarium. Our trustee officers are on the platform behind me, Johnny Hoycheck from Louisiana and David Cox from Michigan. In March, our trustees voted to establish the O.S. and Susie Hawkins Emergency Grant. The Hawkins Fund was established to perpetually provide for the emergency needs of the financially poorest Mission Dignity recipients. Things like eyeglasses and dentures, home repairs. The Bible calls us to give honor where honor is due. Southern Baptist, you honor the office of pastor. You honor these dear servants of Christ. You honor our Lord Jesus through your abounding generosity to Mission Dignity, and we are deeply grateful. We have a short video, and that'll conclude our report.
Throughout the pages of the Bible, the olive tree is often mentioned. Olive trees and Mission Dignity recipients have a lot in common. They're resilient. They symbolize and represent witnesses for God. And they continue to produce fruit even in their old age.
It came to my attention about Leeds Housing Authority. There's 158 apartments there, and people were hungry, and they had needs, and they needed prayer. God told me this one thing: I will give you what you need to do what I call and lead you to do.
There's no words to describe what a difference Mission Dignity has made in our lives.
Mission Dignity helps me because I have a pulpit on my front porch. And that's why I say Mission Dignity is serving me so I can serve others.
Mission Dignity helps more than 2,800 individuals every year with extra money needed for housing, food, and vital medications.
Mission Dignity provides a lot of security for me, a lot of security and a lot of peace.
100% of your gift helps a retirement-age pastor or widow in need.
I just want to say to all donors that contribute to Mission Dignity, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And my husband, were he here, would thank you too for picking up the baton where he had to lay it down and running the race so that I could finish mine.
Are there any questions for Guidestone? Okay. Wait. Hang on. Just a second. Okay. Microphone 3A. Do you have a question?
Yeah. Yes, sir, I do. My name is Richard Bradley. I am a messenger from Highland Baptist Church, Laurel, Mississippi. And I appreciate everything that Guidestone is doing and has done, but I rise in support today of every small church pastor in the convention and would like to ask why it is that after 45 years in the pastorate, that neither I nor anybody I know pastoring a church the size that I have can afford Guidestone insurance. The only ones that I know that can afford Guidestone insurance are those individuals who are fortunate enough and blessed enough to pastor large churches. We have to start doing something for our pastors of small churches other than simple platitudes wishing the best for them. We have to have accessible and affordable health care and adequate Southern Baptist retirement in order to be a healthy group of church leaders. Please do something. Don't talk about it. Please contribute something and do something to make this possible. God bless you.
Okay.
Dear brother, I appreciate your question and this opportunity to have another 3 minutes, because I would love to have spent time with that in my short time of presentation. This is very important to us, and everyone on this platform understands that it's a challenge. We all know that the medical system in general and insurance is a challenge. And this team behind me, under the leadership of Chu So and Adina Kiersey, is working hard to be as creative and flexible as possible. In fact, over the last 3 or 4 years, the number of lives that we insure has grown. We are offering more and more affordable, flexible plans, but we know that there's still ground to gain. I remind you that Guidestone doesn't receive any cooperative program money. We have to run a system where we cover our cost, and there are challenges inherent in the industry. But one of the things I hear when I hear a pastor say he can't afford his insurance, part of what I always hear is the fact that the church is using a lump sum pay package where they are forcing him to choose between retirement and insurance or between salary and insurance. And one of the things that we're working on, in fact, in January, we had every state executive, or 34 of the state executives in our building from our state conventions, talking about compensation advocacy. And one of the things we've got to communicate to our churches is don't force your pastor to choose between his salary and his insurance. Don't force your pastor to choose between feeding his family and addressing his medical care. We've got to take better care of our pastors and churches and understand that part of our responsibility in the kingdom of God, brothers and sisters, is to provide for those who ministers of the gospel in our congregation. Amen. And so we know that not every church can afford to pay a full-time salary. But we think that even churches who have a bivocational pastor should make sure that they're providing a kind of a compensation that allows him to meet his medical needs. And so, brother, what I would say to you is, I commit to you that we're going to continue to strive to do all we can to hold costs down on medical insurance. But we're also working with our state executives and association of leaders to do a better job of training our local churches and our church treasurers, our deacon leadership, of how they can embrace the responsibility to help our pastors address this important need. I thank you for that extra 3 minutes. That's a very important thing. Come by our booth. We'd love to talk to you about these needs. God bless you. We're privileged to serve you.
Time for questions is expired.